When you talk about the mental health problems, when people come back from war and combat and they see things that maybe a lot of the folks in this room have seen many times over, and you're strong and you can handle it, but a lot of people can't handle it. And they see horror stories, they see events that you couldn't see in a movie, nobody would believe it.
That was Donald Trump explaining why he would support a more holistic approach to dealing with PTSD. He was answering a question from a veteran, but the mainstream media quickly pounced on his comments with headlines such as this: Trump appears to suggest veterans with PTSD are not strong. Trump implies vets suffer from PTSD and those who do cannot handle war. And draft dodger Trump, PTSD sufferers are weak. Those are some of the things that are interpretations of what he said. Hillary Clinton also tweeted this: a person who implies that veterans are suffering from PTSD are not strong is unfit to be commander-in-chief, period, end quote. But the veteran who asked Trump the question is standing by him, saying in a statement, quote, I think it's sickening that anyone would twist Mr. Trump's comments to me in order to pursue a political agenda. I took his comments to be thoughtful and understanding of the struggles many veterans have, and I believe he is committed to helping them, end quote. David?
Wow. Where do you begin? First of all, it's such BS coming from Hillary because of the fact that the Clinton Foundation has raised over $2 billion. You know how much they spent on Veterans Affairs over the years? $100,000. I haven't done the math, but $100,000 is a tiny, tiny little bit of $2 billion. But the main thing, we had General Keane on. General Keane, I think you'll agree, Jillian, is not a political guy. General Keane said he is the one candidate that is speaking for the military like no other candidate has spoken for the military in decades. So if non-political guys in the military can see that Donald Trump is standing by the veterans like nobody else has, I think we believe the comments of that veteran who asked him the question rather than these headlines by newspapermen who none of whom probably spent any time in the military.
Fox News polling actually asked about the two candidates and which one that they thought between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump best represented them, and that poll found by double digit a lead by Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, there's 19 percentage points in a two-way race. 19 percentage points, he crushes her.
And again, the best way, aside from focusing on veterans' issues, which is sorely needed in this country. I think it's been one of the most underrepresented topics that we've talked about this entire cycle. Everything from mental health to health care, the whole VA scandal, to suicide rates, to unemployment. Veterans' unemployment rate in this country is astronomically higher than that for the general population, civilian population. But the other way to support our veterans and our military and our military families is to plan and implement good national security policy. And that's why I think part of the reason this has been such a theme running throughout this debate.
I think that this is a coordinated effort by the left and liberals and the Democrats to hurt Trump with the veterans, because it has been Trump who has been speaking for weeks and months about those very suicide rates. And he got fact-checked every which way to Sunday when he came out in July and said a shocking 20 veterans are committing suicide each and every day, especially our older veterans. True from start to finish. And he also, what he unveiled, he wants a hotline, a suicide hotline that goes right to the White House. He wants to open up the private market for people with care. I don't know how anybody could listen to. I heard that live, and I was shocked at the interpretation.
Yeah, I was too.
He was struggling with his words, but who doesn't when talking about such a meaningful subject?
It really speaks to the issue of how we talk about mental challenges in this country and how we don't always have the nomenclature and the lingo that people are comfortable with. But we know Donald Trump to be, and this is just an observation, I mean, he will say things eloquently at times, but he's willing to jump in. So then the question begins, what should the answer back look like from Hillary Clinton? Should it just be a criticism of how he said it?
I mean, it's interesting because I like you, I watched the quote a bunch of times and I didn't see what they were seeing, and we are actually having the moderator from that event on David and my show today at 4 p.m. on Fox Business to ask him what it was like in that room, because I don't know how they came up with that interpretation. He's made a lot of gaffes, that's not one of them, but this is actually offensive to me because this is a very serious issue where there are a lot of people suffering, and to be talking about the language versus what the real problem is that must be addressed is astounding.
Well, it's good we're talking about it, right? Maybe the good thing to come out of it is a little bit of attention for these issues.
And he got us to get there again.